Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited
Hello.
that you could join us this afternoon for a shared webinar. We're going to spend about the first 30 minutes talking all things scholarship with Phi Theta Kappa. And then we're going to hand it off to our stellar membership team, and they're going to interview a scholar from last year's cycle and talk about some of the other benefits of membership. So you're going to get the best of both worlds today with the webinar. We'll get started in just about a minute. We're going to let everybody get in who's been waiting. Through the presentation, if you do have questions, we would love to answer them for you. However, we're a little pressed for time today, and we had about 1,200 people registered for the webinar. So if you would drop your questions in an email, and Kristin, if you'll drop our email address in the chat, that would be great. I'll introduce our little team here in a minute. But if you'll drop your questions in an email, Kristin will put the email address in the chat box so that you guys can just email your questions, or if you want to open an email and just start listing your questions as they come to you and send us one email with all your questions, we'll certainly get to those as quickly as possible. So I am Laurie Brown. I'm the Director of Scholarships here at Phi Theta Kappa. Joining me on the webinar today would be our stellar scholarship specialist, Kristin Ware. So if any of y'all have received a scholarship in the past, you know you've got an email from Kristin requesting paperwork from you. Also joining us on the call today is Paige Rakestraw. She is a memberships, forgive me, Paige, consultant or specialist. I'm not sure what you.
I'm a specialist.
A
Yes.
specialist,
Hi,
yes.
everyone.
Yes,
Yes.
welcome, Paige. And I believe we've got several members of our membership team joining us in the chat as well to answer questions. Asia Madison is with us. She's a scholarship specialist as well. And there may be some random one or two people in there that I don't know about, but there's quite a few people here to help you figure out, navigate through this webinar and get your questions answered as quickly as possible. So, ladies, do you have anything before we begin? We good?
I'm
Everybody's good?
good. I'm
All
good.
right. All right. So today we wanna let you know that we're here for you to get you into scholarships, because we know that's one of the number one reasons students join Phi Theta Kappa. We're going to talk a little bit about what we have to offer today, how you can get into the application, and some best practices maybe to get you into the scholar category. Now we've got a little bit of a problem. There we go. So here at Phi Theta Kappa, there are two different kinds of scholarships that are associated when you accept membership. Those that we administer internally, which is about 21 different programs on an online application that's open all year round, and external scholarships that are offered to you as a member by partnerships that we form with four-year schools across the country. About 900 schools across the country will offer scholarships to our members, but we do not handle those applications, nor do we disperse those funds. So we'll get into how you find all those later. What we want to talk about right now are the scholarships that we administer. And one of the main differences, one of the main ways to tell whether you're not getting one of our scholarships or one of those scholarships from the four-year school is if you get a paper check from Phi Theta Kappa, it's one that we handle. So those funds are given directly to you. Kristin will drop that check in the mail after she's gotten what she needs from you, and you can deposit that in your checking account and use it for whatever kind of educational expenses you have. We'll have about 80,000 students start an application. About 20,000 through the course of the year will finish. What we like to tell students is you cannot compete for our money if you don't complete your scholarship application. So we'll recognize just little over 600 scholars every year, and we're just about $1 million in funding directly into your hands at the end of this process. So we are struggling with the there we go. I'm struggling. All of my buttons are in different places. So before you get all excited and dive into the scholarship application, every scholarship that we offer has a purpose. So if you are an engineering major, and I'm going to pick on all the engineering students in here, if you're an engineering major, I really don't want to see your name in my nursing scholarship application, because that is a program that is designed strictly for nursing students who are getting ready to graduate and take their NCLEX exam. Last time I checked with an engineering student that lives in my house, he didn't have to take an NCLEX exam. So understand the purpose of the scholarship before you start an application. It will help you. Now, unfortunately, scholarships are not automatic here at headquarters. You do have to do an application. We do have to push those applications to a committee of judges, and they do make our selections for us. So that's very important to remember as we're moving through all of these programs. So all these icons that you see on the screen are programs that we do administer here through applications on our website. So what's open right now with a December 1st deadline, because I'm sure that's why everybody's here, the All USA program, including New Centuries and the Coca-Cola Academic Team. In 39 states across the country, you'll also be eligible for inclusion on an all-state academic team, which brings its own set of perks, which we're not going to talk about right now. Also, the Guistwhite Transfer Scholarship, the Heights Transfer Scholarship for students who have some unforeseen financial obstacles, the Oberndorf Lifeline to Completion Scholarship, few regional scholarships, and also for you nursing students, for you pharm tech students, we've got 2 applications open for your exams, for your NCLEX exam and your pharmacy tech certification exam. You can find all that information on our website, scholarships.ptk. Is that right? www.ptk.org/scholarships or scholarships at ptk.org. Now that's the email. Kristin, you'll just fix it.
I'll put everything in the chat. Don't you
She'll
guys
put
worry.
everything in the chat. There's a lot.
The website is ptk.org/scholarships.
Scholarship.
And then if you want to get to the application, it's scholarships.ptk.org. They all sound alike, so I'll put everything in the chat.
And then if you throw the email address in, it's even more fun. So anyway, here we go. We've already covered these. If you're here, the All USA Academic Team program is the largest program on this. It's the one that carries the most national recognition. It's a $5,000 scholarship. It's given to you during the recognition in March, April. That does require nomination by your college. So every single college campus in the country and some sovereign nations can nominate students for this program. So if you're interested in this program, we do have lots of information in our support library, and I'm sure Kristin would love to drop the link to the support library in there. We do try to empower you with as much information as we can. So we do have a fantastic overview of the All USA program, including information on how to write your essays, how to request your letters of recommendation, and the general process that you'll follow to ensure that you're in the best position to get that nomination from your college. The other scholarships like the Heights Transfer Scholarship, the Guistwhite Scholarship, Oberndorf, the regional scholarships do not require nomination from the college at all. Okay, so we talked about visiting the scholarship app at scholarships.ptk.org and completing your application. The fall deadline is Thursday, December the 1st, and it says 5 o'clock, but I'm feeling a little gracious, so we're going to not really stick to 5 o'clock. If it's 6 o'clock, we're fine. But we are sticking to December 1st. We do not anticipate any extensions. We will not be requesting any extra time. I know that bumps up on Thanksgiving holidays and it bumps up on final exams, but this is October the 20th, so mark your calendars accordingly. Get started now. Keep it relevant. If you've got one out there, go get it updated. Keep it fresh. It's very dynamic. You can add to it as you go. You can proofread. You can do all kinds of things. It is available to you until December the 1st, no matter how many times you hit the finalize or submit button. It is still there waiting on you. So don't let December 1st sneak up on you. So typically, and Kristin can back me up on this, we get a lot of people that will email us or call us and say, what scholarships am I eligible for? And we worked really closely with our IT team, and they have come up and given us a quiz. And if you will answer the questions, 12 questions, 14 questions, if you answer those questions honestly, The program will tell you what you're eligible for, and it will only open the sections you need to complete. So while I don't have time to advise, 60,000 people individually on what they're eligible for, if you want to know what you're eligible for, my best piece of advice is to log into scholarships.ptk.org and take that eligibility quiz. It's easy. It legitimately takes less than 3 minutes, and it will tell you what you're eligible for. If you're eligible for programs, those sections will open. As soon as it opens, there will be a download button visible in the upper right-hand corner. You can hit download. It will create a PDF of the entire application, and you can download that to your computer. You can print it. You can review it. You can see what's needed. There's a link in the eligibility page to the required elements so that you know kind of ahead of time what we'll be asking you to give us. And then when you get in there and you start working through the application, your little sections will turn green. As you're finished with a section, the whole section will turn green, and your progress bar, the percentage, will increase. When you're 100% complete, your bar will be green. All your sections will be green, and when you hit the submit or finish button, you'll get a confirmation message. Congratulations, you finished your scholarship application. That's how you know when it's complete. If you see anything that's red, anything that's orange, you're not done. There is a submit or finish button. Sometimes it says one thing or the other. It should say submit at the lower left-hand corner on the last tab or section of the application called the waiver tab. Once you hit that button, it's in. Don't fear if you need to make a change and it's not December the 1st, you can go back and revise your application, hit submit again, and we're fine. The last question is, how do I know if I received a scholarship? We'll email you. Everything we do from the time you start your quiz is handled by email. So if you're in there and you're completing your scholarship application, you're going to get an email from us periodically that says, hey, you're not done. You still have an incomplete application, or we have a webinar coming up. Come join us. Or, hey, you waited to the last minute. Here's some tips and hints to help you get around that last corner and get this finished. All communication is done by email. We use the email address that you put in the scholarship application. So be sure it's an email address you're checking. Be sure it's an email address that will accept emails from the @ptk.org domain, because we have a lot of students that have it flagged to go to spam. Also check it periodically. Every single form of communication, including your scholarship notification, is handled via email. The timing will be best addressed on this next slide, which tells you where we are in our application process. So right now, we're taking applications. It's open. We're providing help. We're providing assistance. We're going to close on December 1st. We're going to move into judging and review for January and February of next year. We'll vet and get them approved in March and start announcements. Do not have an exact date. This is very open to the processes that are involved in selecting scholars, but we do realize that everyone needs to know pretty early if they've gotten an award, because it does have a bearing on where you're transferring in the fall. So by the end of March, everyone should know. Even if you're not awarded a scholarship, you'll get an email that says you weren't selected. So everyone who has a completed application will receive some form of email notification by early next spring. So far, have I missed anything, Kristin? Good. She keeps me on track. All of these programs, we have a lot of questions and a lot of students with a lot of residency statuses. They call the email and they say, am I eligible to apply? Our scholarships are open to full-time students, part-time students, non-traditional students, dually enrolled students, students with a variety of residency statuses. The only hard and fast rule for fall right now is you've got to have at least 36 credit hours earned by the end of December, and you have to be enrolled in associate degree coursework in at least 6 hours through the end of December. So at this point, if you're taking one class or you're in a bachelor's program, you are not eligible to apply on this scholarship application. If you are enrolled in at least 6 hours and you're going to have 36 hours finished by the end of December, I encourage you to take the quiz. The quiz will tell you what's up. If you think you're eligible, if you've read through some of the guidelines on the scholarship page, you think you're eligible, but it's giving you a not eligible, send us an email. We will look at your application, we will look at your quiz, and we'll help you determine if you've answered something incorrectly, or if you maybe misunderstood a question. If you are not eligible, we'll give you some other resources that you can pursue for scholarship help. Right, as I said, all my farm tech people out there, all my nursing people out there getting ready to take the NCLEX, those are expensive exams. Get these applications in. They're due December 1st as well. For any of my students out there taking TEAS prep course that need TEAS prep coursework or HESI study materials, we've got a kind of side scholarship for you guys. It's not really a scholarship, but we're giving out discount codes for prep course materials for TEAS and HESI courses. So there's a question on the application if you're going to be taking TEAS prep stuff or need TEAS prep stuff. All these are listed on the website. So if you don't find them on the website, send us an email. We'll send you the link. All right. And Kristin can vouch for this. One of the best practices that you can have when you're ready to do a scholarship is understand the deadline. Put it in your phone, put it in your planner, put it on a calendar, put it on a sticky note, put it in all those places. December the 1st. There will not be an extension. I'm going to tell you that. I'll tell you that 3 or 4 times. There are no extensions. We didn't extend. I don't think we extended last year. I don't think we've extended for several years. There will not be an extension. Good time management on your part will help you get to the deadline. We will see an increase in traffic on the web. You will notice on deadline day, if you're in there, it may be a little slow. It may be a little sluggish. It may be a little non-responsive, but that's what happens when everyone waits till the last minute. So beat the rush, get in there and move around while it's comfortable, while it's fast. What else was I was going to, anyway, I don't know what I was going to say about that, but think ahead, time block. You don't have to do this all in one sitting. Historically, students who do this in small bites throughout, so over the course of a month, have a much better, stronger application and they stand a better chance of getting a scholarship because judges know they can tell how much time the students have spent on applications. They've proofed them, they've had peer reviews, they've had advisor reviews, they've worked with writing coaches. They have gone over those applications with a fine-tooth comb, and judges know the difference. Well, I think in this slideshow, we've got some judge feedback that's kind of brutal in some instances, but it's true. When we ask for feedback from our judges, we take it very seriously. So when you get ready to do this, know that you're going to have a letter of recommendation. There's a great article in the support library that will tell you who to ask, when to ask. There's a form that you can download and turn in. But you do have to have a letter of recommendation, and I encourage you to start thinking about it as you start completing your scholarship application. It should not be a surprise. Like I said, we've got an article that tells you you need to ask for this at least 2 weeks in advance. Please don't go to your recommenders on November the 30th and say, I need a letter by tomorrow, because they don't come at you, they come at us and say, how dare you let this student ask for a letter the day before the deadline? So even though it's your application and it's your letter, it's my fault that you're not doing it ahead of time. So I'm telling you right now, I'm going to use my best mama voice. Do it ahead of time. Don't make me answer the phone and say I can't make Kristin do right. I told her in October that she needed a letter. After you've asked for your letter and gotten a letter, please send a thank you note. Gratitude is so very important to your recommenders. They're taking time out of their busy schedules to do something that could legitimately make or break your scholarship application. We hope that it makes it. We hope that it supports it. We hope that it pushes it over the finish line. So you do need to send them a thank you note. Another best practice is to focus on storytelling. Again, these are judges that are independent. They're not associated with Phi Theta Kappa. They're reading scholarship applications from all over the country. You guys are all mixed up together. We don't read them by school. We don't read them by state. We don't read them by region or division. They're all jumbled together. And so judges from all over the country are reading applications from all over the country. They don't know you. So this scholarship application is your vehicle to tell your story and to illustrate the impact you're having in your on your campus, in your community, on those people around you, how you're exercising your leadership and using your skills and talents. So this is your vehicle. You need to learn how to use it to tell your story. Writing is important, but reading is fundamental. So I encourage you to read the application, understand the questions that are being asked, understand how it all flows together, and draft some sample responses. You don't have to put it in the scholarship application, or you can, and you can make changes. We'll circle back to the scholarship resume in a minute. If you don't know, ask. If you don't understand a question on the scholarship application, email us. Ask the question. Don't sit there and say, I just don't know. I don't understand what it's asking me. I didn't understand what to put there. We are a resource for you. So if you don't understand a question, you don't know how to answer a question, send us an email and ask us. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I do not ever want someone sitting there saying, well, I couldn't finish my scholarship application because I didn't understand this one question. We are always happy to answer a question. If I'm being honest, the answer is probably in the support library, because if you're asking the question, someone else has probably asked the question before you. So we've got a wealth of information to support you through this process. Tips on writing, tips on getting your letter, what judges are looking for. There's a wealth of information in there. So log into the support library at support.ptk.org, click on scholarships. You will find a multitude of information. So have proofing parties, get your friends together, get your chapter members together. Ask someone from the Writing Center, ask your advisor to come, ask a previous scholar to come. Share your applications with each other. Take the feedback, be nice, accept constructive criticism. Sometimes people are able to point out things you're doing that you don't recognize or you don't want to include. And they'll say, well, you know, Kristin, you're doing this great work, doing this, this, and this, but you didn't write about it in your application. You should find a place to plug it into your application. So sometimes it helps for people to look objectively at what you've written. Also, it's good to put it down and walk away from it for a day or two and come back and find your mistakes, find your grammatical mistakes, find your misspelled words. Proofread, please. Proofread. I beg you, proofread. That can make or break your scholarship application. Oh, this piece of advice is read it aloud and read it backwards. Make sure you catch your mistakes. And once you're good and you're pretty convinced that it's the best you can do, download another copy of it. Hit that download button again and download another PDF. It will save everything you've written in your scholarship application, and you'll have it for use later. Before we move to external scholarships, in the support library, you will notice a scholarship resume. If you have never used a scholarship resume or built one, I encourage you to start. A scholarship resume is a great way for you to capture all of the information that you have entered, that you may be asked. The more scholarship applications you do, the better you get, the more information you collect, and the better your scholarship resume is. So you can just sit down to do, say, the Jack Kent Cook scholarship application, which is open now. You can just take your resume, plug in the details, do your writing prompts, and you're done. You don't have to sit there and think about, when did I accept that leadership role? When did I become the vice president of my chapter? When did this happen? Got all those things written down. Jack Kent Cook announces their scholars in the spring like we do. Historically, 85% of Jack Kent Cook scholars are Phi Theta Kappa members, because what you're doing on your campus, in your community, and how you're impacting others, that's what the Jack Kent Cook organization is looking for. So historically, PTK members are very successful in the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship application, and I have been told that our application process is a good way to prepare for Jack Kent Cooke. If you can get through our process, you will not be intimidated by Jack Kent Cooke. So if nothing else, use us to practice. So external scholarships, all of those opportunities that I spoke about in the very beginning that are offered by four-year colleges are housed in PTK Connect. That is connect.ptk.org. You can log in with your normal PTK username and password. It is members only, but you can search for scholarships by state. You can look for a school that you're interested in. You can compare. You can put favorites on your list. You can see what's out there from coast to coast. Each of those listings will give you the person to contact at that school, and that person will be able to tell you what their deadline is and what their process is. And you can do as many of those as you want to. It is not connected in any way, shape, or form with the application that I have spent the majority of the 30 minutes talking about, but they are available there for you. Also, our members do well with organizations like Jeanette Rankin, the Fulbright Scholars, the Hispanic Scholars Foundation. There are other external scholarships. If you need a list of those resources, send us an email and we'll shoot you our list of scholarship resources that we've vetted. As you can see by my map, there are hundreds of scholarships all over the country. So what else am I missing, Kristin? Anything good?
I'm trying to think. You've hit the high points.
High points, and
We're getting a
got
lot of
2 minutes.
good questions. We're getting a lot of good questions in the chat, and something I can certainly tell everyone: if you have specific questions about your application or why you were not eligible, send us an email at scholarships@ptk.org. We'll look into your application specifically and let you know if it has to do with your credit hours, your enrollment in a bachelor's program or an associate program, or if it's potentially a GPA, or if there's just something that's causing our logic grid to be confused. So we'll certainly be happy to take a look at your application or your eligibility quiz. So send us an email again at scholarships@ptk.org. We will remain on the line. I'm showing my age here. We're going to remain on the Zoom call while our membership representative, Paige Rakestraw, has her chat. We'll answer any scholarship questions, but we certainly encourage you to listen in. Paige, I'm going to turn it over to you in one of our New Century Workforce Scholars. She's on your screen. You can hear directly from her about her application process, and she can talk all things membership related as well. So Paige, we're turning it over to you.
And I'm just going to ask one question. Paige, do you want me to stop the screen share?
Sure.
Okay.
Is Angela on the line? Is she here? Listen to me. I sound like Kristin. I'm showing my age too. Is she on this webinar with us? Is she not here? I was told she'd show at 4:30.
Yeah,
it's 4:31.
Oh, okay. You're in a different time zone than me.
It's 4:31 Central Time. Okay. Well, yes, I am. I'm East Coast. Hi, everybody. Welcome, East Coasters. I am actually 5:31, but okay. I was going to interview Angela. I think she's not going to be able to make it. I'm just getting a message. She is having connection issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about what Phi Theta Kappa is. We had this great presentation from our scholarship team indicating to you part of what our mission is recognizing your hard work and being a scholar and being a leader. So we're going to go ahead and get started and just ramp all this up and talk about who we are. Okay, so we are Phi Theta Kappa, and we have been around for over 100 years. You have received an invitation to join, or you've joined already, by your college based on your GPA and credit hours. So congratulations, kudos to you. But once you join, you do get recognition of being a Phi Theta Kappa member, and that recognition includes receiving your membership packet upon joining. And in that packet, you receive your membership certificate, your membership key pin, some brochures, a lot of goodies, a free tassel. And another part of that free tassel is your regalia. Part of your recognition is wearing regalia on stage, showing that you were an honor student. So what does that regalia entail? It is a gold tassel. It's a medallion. It's the cords. Everybody likes to bling out at graduation. Show how smart you are. And when you join Phi Theta Kappa, based on what your college allows, you can wear the graduation regalia. You also receive the official Phi Theta Kappa seal placed on your college diploma. You also receive notation of membership on your college transcript. So that's a lot of recognition. And there's even more. Once you get into your chapter and you are active, participation is definitely not mandatory, but like most things, the more you put into things, the more you're going to get out of it, especially when filling out your scholarship applications. Hint, hint, hint. The more activities you do with your chapter, the more you'll have kind of to write about in your scholarship application. They just go hand in hand together. Of course, it's not mandatory, but it is there to help you. And you can work with your chapter to be recognized on campus, at the campus and college level, for being a scholar, an honor student. And, you can get letters of recommendation citing your membership. And we also have the scholarships that we just talked about, up to $90 million in scholarships to help you complete your associate's, bachelor's, and even your master's degrees. So you can keep coming back to our site after you're a member and keep filling out your applications to different scholarships. You have access to about $46 million in transfer scholarships offered by nearly 800 four-year colleges and universities across our country. And there are awards specifically for career-bound students, including some field-specific opportunities that cover the cost of certification exam fees. And we have leadership and service experiences that will boost your resume and make things more competitive for both Phi Theta Kappa and non-Phi Theta Kappa scholarships. We also offer career training. So we have professional skills employers seeking through our exclusive online competitive edge programs for members. And we help you navigate the job market with our one-on-one kind of PTK Edge for employment training courses. So we have these programs for our members that are free to you, and you work at your own pace. And you get in there and you work on these programs. One specifically is Employment Edge. You can get in there and watch these little videos, quiz yourself, and finish the program to learn how to ask questions on a job interview, how to complete a job, interview and successfully negotiate your salary. Yes, please. Let me say this to the guys in the back. Negotiate a salary. I know nobody trained me how to do that, but we have those skills provided for you as a member. And once you finish these courses, we have Healthcare Edge, we have Employment Edge, we have Transfer Edge. Yes, Transfer Edge teaches you how to transfer to a four-year school successfully so you get the school of your choice. Teaches you how to fill out the FAFSA, what kind of questions to ask on a college interview. And once you complete these courses, they email you these digital badges that you can put on your LinkedIn profile, showing that you are a pro at these programs and that you know how to do professional development. You also receive the able to go into our store, and we have these little pins that you can wear, and you can purchase these little pins and collect them to show that you've completed all of our EDGE programs. So that's another benefit for all of our members. And we also have a lot of leadership training and to develop your own personal leadership philosophies that are inspired by classic leaders from our communities and today's top thinkers. So you get to practice your skills through leadership roles within your chapter, in your service projects, and on campus. Okay, so our 5 most commonly asked questions. I just joined Phi Theta Kappa, what's next? So you can go in and explore these benefits I just talked about by logging into our website, by using your credentials you create during your acceptance process, and you'll find job skill development, challenging academic programs, scholarship transfer support, and so much more. And you can get involved locally at your college. Attend your induction ceremony. I must say that is such a special special event. And I encourage all members to try to attend that and try to get in there and be recognized by your school. It's a very special event that your school wants to honor you. It honors you, and it's the perfect way to meet other members, many of whom are new just like you, and connect with your local Phi Theta Kappa advisor on campus for more details about what the chapter is about and what things they may be doing. The next question we frequently get is, I'm transferring or entering the workforce. What does Phi Theta Kappa have for me? Well, we kind of covered that in this webinar from Laurie and Kristin. But if you're transferring, you're going to want to check out these transfer scholarships. You're going to want to go in there and start that application. Do the eligibility quiz like Laurie suggested. It takes out all the guesswork. If you have questions or am I eligible? I'm blah, blah, blah. I have this, I have this. Go fill out those questions. It will answer for you. It will tell you anything you need to know. And if you're eligible, it will open everything up. It takes the guesswork out. Just go start that eligibility quiz. It's like 7 or 8 questions. I think it's not long. It won't take you long at all. And if you have questions about it, email them at scholarships@ptk.org, and they will help you and they can look at your answers to see what's going on. But if you're going into the workforce, you can get interview and resume and career prep tips using the PTK Edge programs, and you can find the best 4-year college or scholarships and get a job and salary outlooks by looking in our PTK website, PTK connect.ptk.org. And then eligible students, this includes dual enrolled, part-time, and 1-year certificate students. So that is who is eligible. And if you're an eligible student, why should you join? Well, we're more than 100 years old, like I mentioned, and we've helped millions of high achieving college students reach their full potential. And we have a lot of member discounts on our website. So once you're a member, it opens up all of the benefits and the discounts that are available to you, plus the nearly $1 million in competitive scholarships. And you have transfer scholarships that are also only exclusively available to members. I want to give you an example. I have a nephew who was enrolled at community college several years ago. He received his invitation to join. He joined, and he had a little difficulty with his login, trying to get into the website. So it says on there, you have problems, call our 800 number. So he picked up his cell phone and he called the 800 number, and I answered, and I didn't know it was him. And I said, "Hi, Phi Theta Kappa, thank you for calling. How may I help you?" And he said, "Aunt Paige?" And I was like, "Davis?" And it was my nephew. And he got his Aunt Paige at headquarters, didn't even really think to just text me. And I helped him get his login. What he was trying to do was fill out his free letter of recommendation that he was going to use, and he was going to get his member ID number to get a transfer scholarship at Mississippi State. He got the membership certificate and the number, and he provided the information the school needed. They applied that scholarship to his tuition. And at the time, it was stackable with other merit scholarships. That's something else you should ask. Are they stackable? And he was able to stack other merit scholarships on top of his PTK transfer scholarship. He essentially graduated from Mississippi State debt-free. And because of his degrees and his honor society affiliation, he was able to put on his resume that he is a Phi Theta Kappa member, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, and all of the leadership roles that he did within his chapter. I think he was an officer with his chapter, and he applied for a job with the state, and he got that job. And he has Phi Theta Kappa really kind of to thank. He does. He really does. So there's so much available to being a Phi Theta Kappa member that just is more than scholarships. It's just so much more to help give you that edge, that cutting edge to get the job later after you're done with your educational career to kind of help you in your professional career. So how can I maximize my PTK experience? If I haven't answered that for you already, my goodness, attend those chapter meetings, run for those local and regional and international officer positions, take advantage of all the online curriculums that we offer for you, and start that scholarship application right now. Go do that tonight. Have fun doing it. You only have a one-time membership fee. It's a one-time fee from Phi Theta Kappa. We will never ask for any other money from you, but we may give you money if you get an application, you start your application and you get awarded a scholarship. We may give you money. You may earn that money back. My nephew did. He earned his Phi Theta Kappa membership fee back by getting money off his tuition at the four-year school. So get in there, start that application, join Phi Theta Kappa, and let's get started and have a great educational career and then professional career. I'm excited for everybody that's on this call, and I'm so glad you all joined us today. Since I don't have anybody to interview, I kind of just winged it tonight, guys.
You did a great job, Paige, and I'm going to second
You did.
because my child also went to Mississippi State University and received his invitation to join from his community college, and he was able to finish his first 2 years at Mississippi State debt-free. So we were very, very thankful for that. Like you said, at that time, it was stackable with some other scholarships, his Eagle Scout scholarship from Boy Scouts and his Compass scholarship, an alumni scholarship. But they were like so many other four-year schools across the country. Once you do that application for scholarship, the school finds things that will fit you.
Yes.
You don't even have to, you do have to ask a little bit, but they'll say, you know, once you do that standard scholarship application, they distribute it out to different, like if there's a foundation scholarship you're eligible for, or if there's an alumni scholarship. So get in there and do it, and do
Yes.
it early, because some of
And
these schools they run out of money.
they do. And we have somebody else on our team. Her daughter got a transfer scholarship to Ole Miss, a PTK. So there's other schools, not just Mississippi State. We have two examples there, but another college does too. And they're not just in Mississippi, they're all over the country, Kansas and Louisiana and Ohio and Virginia.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. Get in there and fill out your applications. They are there for you and available. And then when you transfer, when it asks you on your transfer application, are you a Phi Theta Kappa member? You want to check that box. Yes. You say, I want the free money. Put it on my tuition. I want that money, please, because that's what my nephew did. He checked that box. And because he was a Phi Theta Kappa member, he then qualified for other merit scholarships, and he essentially graduated debt free. So I can't say enough. Oh, there's all of our help information.
I wanted to put that out there. We have a lot of questions in the chat. I just wanted that to be out there so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of all the comments. Specifically scholarship related questions, email our scholarship team at the email address on your screen, the scholarships@ptk.org. That is the easiest way to contact us this time of year, and getting closer to the deadline. Sometimes it's harder to get us on the phone. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. So we do ask you to email, since we have a team that is constantly in our email inbox checking those questions. And then also you have access to the scholarship support library 24/7, even when we're not available. So check that out at support.ptk.org. Click on scholarships and you're going to find all kinds of helpful information, including a copy of this webinar a little bit later. So if we don't get that up by tomorrow, we hope to have it up by early next week. So certainly check that out. And then if you have any questions about membership that Paige didn't answer, you can certainly email them at help@ptk.org, and they'll be happy to help you as well with accepting your membership or letting you know about other benefits. I've seen some questions about membership packets and tassels when those arrive. Paige, do you happen to know that answer?
Yes. That takes about 5 to 7 weeks for delivery. We do all of the packets in-house. We do have to print some things, so it does take a little bit of time, and they are sent through USPS bulk mail, I believe. So it does take about 5 to 7 weeks. But if it's been a little longer than about 7 weeks since you joined, definitely email us at help@ptk.org, and we can look into that for you to see if maybe it just didn't get there, didn't get delivered. Sometimes, USPS, they're a little slower sometimes, and we can always work on getting something else to you, sending out a replacement packet if needed.
All right, great. Thank you so much. There are a couple of questions really fast, Paige, if you don't mind answering. You may have already answered,
Okay.
but I was very much in scholarship land over here.
Okay.
A couple of students have asked, are there any assistance programs to assist with the membership fee for new members?
Yes. So if you are wanting to see if there's assistance to pay for that one-time membership fee, definitely reach out to your Phi Theta Kappa advisor. I'm going to have Asia put the link to search for your Phi Theta Kappa advisor on campus if you don't know who they are. We do have a directory on our website. You can always go to our search tab and write chapter directory and it'll pull it up. But you can search for your Phi Theta Kappa advisor and you can go and contact them to see if you can be nominated for the Golden Opportunity Scholarship. We do that nomination. Your chapter can nominate up to 3 students who may be in financial need to help cover the membership fee, the $60 portion. Or you can just check with your Phi Theta Kappa advisor to see if there are any funds at your college that will help cover your membership fee. It doesn't hurt to ask. Yes, thank you, Asia. She put that in the chat. It's
Awesome.
the advisor search. You could either click that link to find your advisor to see if there are any funds available to pay for the membership fee to join Phi Theta Kappa. Your advisor is someone you definitely want to get to know. So definitely keep their information handy, their email or their phone number. Usually they're easier to get a hold of by email, I have found. Or if you leave a voicemail, it might take them a little longer to call you back because they are in classes. But emails sometimes while they're in class, my husband's a professor too, and he sits in class and sometimes can email students back more than pick up a phone while he's teaching. So definitely send them an email. It's sometimes a little easier for them and quicker to get back to you. So send them an email asking about any membership fee assistance that they may have. It doesn't hurt to ask. And then, like I said, keep their information handy because once you join, definitely use them to find out how you can be involved on campus, see if you're having meetings or if they're doing any kind of benefits that you might want to help with. There's all kinds of things going on with Phi Theta Kappa chapter. So definitely reach out to them to find out what the chapter has to offer for you.
I'm seeing a
Awesome.
lot of, I'm sorry, Kristin,
No,
go ahead.
you probably saw the same thing I did. I see a lot of people asking, do you have to know where you're transferring before you complete the application? And the answer is no, you don't. I just answered that in the Q&A box, and then I've seen several more people ask the same question. So I figured we'd ask it out loud or answer it out loud. You do not have to know where you're transferring to complete our application. It helps if you have an idea, but it is not required. There's a section if you make it past the eligibility quiz where it will ask you where you're transferring. And if you don't know, just answer where you hope to transfer to. Or you can even say to be determined. That's perfectly fine. It's not going to affect your application whatsoever. It's more so just to help us find out where students are planning to transfer. And it also helps our college relations team build those relationships with those four-year colleges to establish more transfer scholarships. So if we know where our students are wanting to attend college, we might can get a new scholarship for you guys. So put where you hope to attend if you do not know where you're going to be attending yet, because we understand a lot of you guys are applying to multiple schools and you have your safe schools versus your dream schools. So just put down where you hope to go. And again, it does not affect your application in one bit when it goes to judging.
Right.
I see another membership question I want to touch on real quick.
Okay.
Your membership invitations that you received should have an expiration date. So whatever that date is, most of them are December 31st for this semester. So you have until that date to join. If you looked at your invitation and you're not sure what that deadline date is, you can definitely reach out to your Phi Theta Kappa advisor on that advisor search link and ask them how long you have to join when you have to make the payment to join. So you do have, a little buffer zone for membership, but the sooner you join, the sooner you can start the scholarship application. So keep that in mind. Also, you can attend whatever meetings you want to on your campus. They're not mandatory at all, but if you do want to get involved, definitely reach out to your advisor, find out when their meetings are, see what ones maybe you can attend. Some of them might be virtual, so definitely ask if they have that option. So I just wanted to answer those 2 questions real quick.
I noticed a couple of questions too about the scholarship application, about volunteerism and engagement. And I just want to say that even if you don't do formal volunteerism or if you don't hold a formal leadership position, but you do things like you help your grandparents or you help your other family members with certain things, or you go and you keep the kids down the street after school every day, or you're involved with your child's PTO organization or band boosters organization, or you coach soccer. If you were doing things like this, even though they're not formal, you've just stepped up and said, hey, I'm going to fill a need. Think about those as volunteerism experiences. You're exercising leadership, you're exercising initiative, you're showing how you can get this group of people together to get to a common goal. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thing. Especially if you've got family responsibilities, you can look at those family responsibilities and say, well, I exercise my leadership by doing this. I pick my younger siblings up from school every day and I supervise their homework and I do this. It's essentially tutoring. Think creatively about the things that you are doing in your life if you don't have that time to be formally involved on campus. If you're an online student, there's lots of ways to get engaged virtually these days. I know that when I was in school recently, I was the chairman of a committee at my child's school. So I used that as my volunteerism, as my leadership. It was completely related to his school, not my school. I didn't do it on my campus, but you have to think creatively about these things that you're doing. How are you spending your time? So you're in class here and you're doing homework here and you're resting here, but how about that other chunk of time? How are you spending that time? And think creatively about how to write about those things. So almost everybody can find some way to define engagement and volunteerism and leadership, even if it's not attending an event. So get creative. There's some information about this in the support library. We're happy to we'll touch on this in another webinar, tips and tricks and best practices. But essentially, you just need to think outside the box sometimes. Way outside the box sometimes. So if there are, I know that everybody has questions, but at this point, if we can just kind of start putting them in an email and dropping them into either the help at ptk.org or the scholarships at ptk.org, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for the afternoon. And we thank everyone for joining us. We appreciate everyone's input. We appreciate all the questions. Keep the questions coming.
Yes.
Know that if we didn't answer your question, you can send it in an email. We will get to it. I promise you. We're gonna look at every single email. It's just really difficult for a limited number of people to answer this many questions. And a lot of you have the same in a short time frame. And a lot of you have really good questions and they're very specific to your situation. So we're trying to answer the general questions that would apply to a larger group. But for your specific questions, if we didn't answer them, I apologize. Send us an email. Promise we'll get them answered.
And to piggyback off of what she said, because we do get this question a lot, we're real people and we answer our emails. It's not a robot. I promise it's somebody on your screen right now. Most likely one of the four of us will be answering your email. We do have a few other team members on our scholarship team, and as does membership, but I promise you it's not a robot. It's not an auto response. I take time to manually type out the email to everyone. And I had a student ask me one day, because it said his auto reply didn't answer his question. I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't an auto reply. It was actually me. And I do apologize that I missed one of your questions. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that we are human and I promise it's us behind the screen.
Yes. Right. Paige, Asia, you guys good? You want to add anything?
No, all I have to add is join. You won't regret it.
You will not regret it.
Apply for your scholarships. Come on, guys. Let's do this.
That's right.
Thanks,
Thank you guys for joining.